We are entering into another session. We were discussing about capital market, and capital market was classified or is classified into primary market and secondary market. In the previous session, we saw what is primary market and the methods of flotation. In this session, we are discussing about the secondary market, and you have to understand that secondary market is also called as stock exchange. So, in this session we will be learning about stock exchange, or in other words we can say we are talking about secondary market. Now, what is stock exchange? Stock exchange is another name for secondary market. That means a market where existing securities are bought and sold. It's a platform. It's a platform for purchasing and selling the existing securities, and that is what is called a stock exchange, or that is the benefit, or that is the purpose of stock exchange. Existing shares are bought and sold, existing debentures are bought and sold, or any kind of securities, existing securities are bought and sold. And it is helping, secondary market is important because it is helping new investor to enter into financial market, as well as the existing investors to disinvest and reinvest. Disinvest means sell off. Reinvestment means again after selling off we can invest into some other securities. So it is helping fresh investor to enter market and existing investors to disinvest and reinvest. And you have to understand that stock market or financial market is controlled by a body called as Securities Exchange Board of India. It is apex body which is controlling all the security transactions, and stock exchange has to compulsory follow the regulations of Securities Exchange Board of India. Now, we are going on to the functions of stock exchange. What all functions does a stock exchange perform, or they have two? First one is providing liquidity and marketability to existing securities. We all know stock exchange is dealing with purchase and sale of existing securities. So it is providing a chance for the investor or the person who is having the security to sell it off and convert it into cash. So there is a chance for them to convert the securities into cash, because stock exchange acts as a platform for that. At the same time, there is a marketability. There is always chance for selling or buying. So there is transactions of securities happening in stock exchange where an investor can easily convert his securities into cash. So it is creating a continuous market where investors can sell and convert it into cash. At the same time, they can invest, they can purchase the securities which are being sold by another person who was having the security. So there is continuous market. We can have purchase and sale in stock exchange, which is resulting in liquidity too. So it is providing liquidity and marketability to existing securities. That is the first function, or one of the function of stock exchange. Second one is pricing of securities. Pricing of securities, price is being determined by demand and supply factors. So here the demand and supply, according to the demand the supply is being regulated, and on basis of that, on basis of demand and supply, automatically this shares are constantly evaluated on the basis of performance, on the basis of availability, on the basis of investors. The constant valuation is being taken, and it helps to determine the price of each security. So considering the factors of demand and supply and constant valuation which is happening in stock exchange, we are able to price the securities. That is also another function which is being performed by stock exchange. Third one is safety of transaction. Safety of transaction, when we are talking about safety of transaction, we have to understand that as I have said in the beginning itself, it is controlled by an apex body which is having all the powers to control all the activities in Securities Exchange, that is Securities Exchange Board of India, and it has published rules and regulations which has to be followed in transaction of securities. So in stock exchange it has to be compulsorily followed, and it makes sure that the investor is protected. So by following rules and regulations and doing of things within legal framework of SEBI, it provides protection for investors who are purchasing or selling the securities. So safety of transactions can be made sure in stock exchange. That is another function. Next function is it contributes to economic growth. It contributes to economic growth. When there is purchase, when there is sale, there is investment, disinvestment, reinvestment happening in stock exchange. It is being made sure that all the savings or it is the money which is being invested, through shares or any securities is being channelized to most productive avenues, most productive opportunities, or it is being used for the best purpose in the business. So we can make sure that through investment, through disinvestment, the savings which are collected from general public is used for most productive purpose, in turn which will fetch more and more return, which will be possibly helping economy to grow as well as the investors to benefit. So in that way it contributes to economic growth. And last one is it spreads an equity cult. It spreads an equity cult. Here they are trying to say is that a culture is being created, a culture of savings, a culture of investing. They are providing necessary necessary practice, or they are informing the customers or the steps which are to be followed in investment, and through that they are getting, or general public investors are getting an awareness regarding how to invest, where to invest, in which all securities to invest. So by providing that education, stock exchange is trying to develop a culture of investment within the minds of people. So that is also another function of stock exchange. One more function which I forgot. One more function is there, and that function is provide scope for speculation. Provide scope for speculation. Stock exchange provide information. Stock exchange provide information regarding the existing securities within the limits of law, within the regulations which it is following, and looking at the informations given by stock exchange, each investor can go for having speculation within the limited level, and within the provisions of law. By understanding the trend, the investor can lawfully go for speculation. Actually, speculation is an unlawful activity, but with the information given by stock exchange, they can go for speculation regarding where to invest, how to invest, and when to invest. So that also is provided. The information is provided by stock exchange, which can benefit the investor. So it provides a scope for speculation. So these are the functions of stock exchange.